All right, let's try that again. Share sound.
See, I got it.
Now I see it.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Awesome. So thank you so much for joining us to learn more about the More Than Pink Walk. I see anyone that I could actually see on this call has already registered. So thank you for registering. If folks join and haven't registered, there'll be some links and QR codes across the webinar to get you started. So we're looking forward to, in 1.5 weeks, the More Than Pink Walk on Sunday, October 2nd at Six Flags Great Adventure. I'm going to start by sharing a video.
Okay, you're recording?
Yes.
I walk for my wife.
For all of my patients.
I walk for my mom.
I walk for myself.
I walk so no other families have to go through what my family went through.
What if we all did a little bit more?
If we could raise $1 more,
Take one more step.
Share one more story.
Imagine the impact we could make
towards ending breast cancer.
That's the power of one.
The power of one starts with you.
Power of one more action.
The power every one of us has.
When we come together
as one community.
That's the difference.
And getting closer to a world without
breast cancer.
The day before my double mastectomy, we participated in our first Komen walk. This will be my 9th walk.
I have been walking for 21 years.
I've walked 21 years.
So no matter how you make your impact,
Let's make this year count.
It's about every one of us.
Understanding the impact that we can have.
When we go $1.
One story.
and step further.
Join us and witness the power of one.
So thank you so much for joining us, taking that first step, registering, joining this webinar, really coming together for a world without breast cancer, whether it's your first walk, your 10th walk, your 20th walk. We just thank you so much for joining us and celebrating Komen's 40th year anniversary. So what we'll talk about today is a little bit about our mission and some updates. Of course, all the great what to expect details for the More Than Pink Walk, a little bit of exploring the fundraising center, and if we have time at the end, we'll do some question and answer. So to start, I just wanted to share that we've made great progress because of you, because of your fundraising efforts, because of you coming together to raise awareness with us and share our 4 mission pillars with those that you love. We'll talk more about that, but we've been able to reduce the breast cancer mortality rate in the US by 42% since 1989. And we continue to chip away at that mortality rate so that people can live longer, happier lives. We've invested nearly $1.1 billion in research, and just last year we actually invested more than $7.7 million in community health programs. Yet despite all we've accomplished, breast cancer is still the most common cancer in women worldwide. It's the 2nd leading cause of cancer deaths among women in the US. And unacceptably so, Black women are about 40% more likely to die of breast cancer than white women. We're trying to change that. We're trying to help everyone live longer lives and save these nearly 44,000 people in the US who are expected to die from breast cancer. And that is the equivalent of a sold-out Major League Baseball stadium disappearing every single year. So that's people we know and love. And so thank you for coming together and helping us change these statistics. Susan G. Komen is unique as a breast cancer organization. We have a 360-degree approach to tackling breast cancer compared to other organizations. So we drive research, we provide care, we take action through our advocacy program and unify our communities. We do all of this in order to tackle our strategic priorities, being conquering aggressive and deadly breast cancers to help people live longer, better lives, and achieving health equity. We're the #1 funder of breast cancer research after the federal government. And our vision is to create a world without breast cancer. We've been doing this for 4 decades, so we're celebrating that success. And lots of our research investment does go towards finding better treatments and cures, especially, as I mentioned, towards metastatic, and a recurrence focus in our research investment portfolio. So when you fundraise, you're helping to fund new treatments, better treatments, and cures. Another really important program that we launched recently is called Stand for Her, HER, Health Equity Revolution. It's a special initiative focused on the Black community to reduce breast cancer disparities by 25%. We started with research to identify the top 10 metro areas in the US where late-stage diagnosis and mortality disparities were greatest. So in New Jersey, we have Philadelphia and surrounding areas, spreading into Camden, New Jersey, and surrounding New Jersey communities. So launching past this 2-year research study, we're now taking action within these communities and beyond. Susan G. Komen, as you know, is a national organization, so we're able to reach everyone, no matter where they live, no matter what they're going through and what their circumstance is. So we aim to get into our communities, spread education. Lots of our corporate folks on the line. I saw Bloomberg on there and some others. Whenever you help us raise awareness to your employees, that's helping us spread our education. So between our community teams, our corporate teams, we do this through the walk, of course, and then through our other Komen arms. Patient support, so making sure that each patient is connected to timely, high quality care. And we do this partly through our patient care center that we'll talk about. Workforce development, so we aim to increase diversity in healthcare careers through patient navigation, and in that way help to build trust and empathy in these fields where we see a lot of racism and bias. So we also have research. So research in terms of having more diversity and representation in research, in clinical trials, and then advocating for policies that promote health equity as well. So for anyone that has come on the line who is in the healthcare sector, we do have tomorrow our first navigation Nation Summit. So, for patient navigators to learn more about the intersection of health equity and patient navigation. Looks like a really engaging, powerful program with lots of good discussions. So, if you want to learn more about that, please email me, cbeecher@komen.org. I'm sure you've gotten lots of emails from me recently. So what do we do besides funding research? We know that usually takes time. We do have the Patient Care Center to help patients and their families, anyone that has a question about breast cancer, breast health right now. So we would love for you to share this with family and friends just so they know that there are people that they can talk to, get their questions answered. We know how overwhelming it is to not only hear you have breast cancer, but then go through the whole journey of navigating multiple doctors and multiple treatments and all of that. So please call 1-877-GO-KOMEN, email the helpline at komen.org, and get your questions answered. So you'll be able to talk to trained specialists and oncology social workers on the other end of that line. They'll like I said, answer questions, but also point you towards information about local and national resources, offer emotional support resources, help navigate clinical trials, and also provide information on our financial assistance program. So our financial assistance program is available to those 300% below the poverty level, which is the equivalent of a family of 4 making about $80,000. If you have a stage 0 to 3 active breast cancer diagnosis, you could be eligible for a $500 award to come to you to use for all of these things. Also, if you have a stage 4 diagnosis, you could receive $750 because we know life is expensive, gas is expensive, food prices are soaring. It's really difficult to just afford life right now. And on top of a breast cancer diagnosis, we know that it becomes extra difficult. And so we want everyone to know that as Komen, we're here to help you. We've seen the most requests for housing and food insecurity. And so please apply through this program and get the help that you need. I get lots of questions about Komen being a national organization and how do we help people in New Jersey. So I have this slide here outlining our achievements in New Jersey just last year. And you'll see that lots of folks in New Jersey call our breast cancer helpline, and we actually did provide over $128,000 in financial assistance support last year to people living in New Jersey. So again, your fundraising makes a difference, your sponsorship makes a difference, and you're helping us further our mission and be able to help more people, which we have seen a 54% increase in those getting our support service through the patient care center. So we're getting lots more calls, and we hope with more funds raised, we can help as many people as possible. So before I jump into the More Than Pink Walk details, the moment you've all been waiting for, I did just want to leave you as we approach National Breast Cancer Awareness Month with Komen's breast self-awareness message, a 4-part recommendation to 1, know your risk. So talk to both sides of your family, get your family history, also talk to your doctor about your risk of breast cancer. 2, get screened. Talk about, again, your doctor, what screening tests are right for you. Have a mammogram every year starting at age 40 if you're at average risk. Again, if you are at maybe higher risk, then talk to your doctor about when is right for you to get screening and what tests you should be getting. 3, know your normal. So lots of people recognize that if you feel a lump, you should go and get that checked. But there's many other ways that breast cancer can present itself. And here's a visual over on the right: swelling, warmth, redness, change in size or shape, dimpling, puckering, itchy, scaly, sore, rash, et cetera, et cetera. You'll hear from one of our speakers on walk day, Beth Pareca, captain of the Wrecking Crew. She's been so nice to share her story with everyone on walk day. And she talks about how she thought that she was having an allergic reaction because she had a rash, and it turned out to be an aggressive form of breast cancer. So I hope that you'll join us at the walk and hear her full story. But she has become a really amazing advocate for Komen, an ambassador of ours. She spoke at our luncheon if you were there, and she's just a really amazing person. But her message is, know you're normal. If something looks or feels different, better be safe than sorry, and please go get it checked. And then lastly, lead a healthy lifestyle. And that's not just for breast cancer, that's for lots of diseases. So, the typical things: exercise, eat healthy, and do your best to live healthy. All right, so I'm going to move into the More Than Pink Walk, talk to you about what's new, share some information. We have the map event site to give you a little glimpse into what the event day will look like, and you could plan out what your stops are going to be when you get there. But what's new? So we're back to in-person, round 2 in person. This year it's going to have more of a pre-COVID feel, more tense, more fun, more giveaways from sponsors. It's free to register again. We've upgraded the fundraising center. We have new incentive prizes for your fundraising efforts. If you raise $100, if you had raised $100 by September 12th, you'll be receiving your walk day shirt in the mail within the next week. We're walking through the theme park this year, so that's different from last year when it went through Hurricane Harbor. And there's lots of great stuff, including the Wawa coffee truck, Frito-Lay has a truck, ShopRite's providing refreshments, and we'll talk more about what other sponsors will be there as well. So Breast Cancer Awareness Month is October. So New Jersey More Than Pink Walk kicks that off on Sunday, October 2nd. The gates will open at 7 a.m. We encourage everyone to arrive early to the Hurricane Harbor parking lot. It's free parking there. Once you're there, you want to make your way in. If you had haven't received your shirt in the mail by event day, you'll either head to the t-shirt tent, or if you're a survivor or metastatic thriver, you'll head to Hope Village. So stop over there. Peruse all the sponsor tents and all of our Komen tents between 7 and 8:30, and then the program will start. So we hand out these things, they're called Komen wraps, and you wave them around during the program. So you want to make sure to look out for the people passing those out. They'll also be available for pickup at the t-shirt tent, the pillar tents. So grab one of those so you can interact with the program. And then after a really amazing program where you'll feel all the feelings, inspiration, you'll laugh, you'll cry. Hopefully you walk away with a sense of hope and just togetherness of everyone really rallying and coming together for Komen's mission in a world without breast cancer. After we get all the excitement out, then we start the walk at around 9. So there'll be a 1 mile and 2.5 mile walk route. And that will go, like I said, through the theme park. And then afterwards, we invite you to go into the theme park. So Six Flags has been so generous to offer us the promo code PINK, P-I-N-K, for a discounted theme park ticket at $49.99. So we encourage you to go on the Six Flags Great Adventure website if you are interested in going into the park that day, and that ticket is available only on walk day. So I think most people on the line have registered already, but if I missed anyone who hasn't, Komen.org/New Jersey Walk is where you want to go. It's free to sign up, or you can take a second to scan this QR code. And this slide will come up again if you miss it. This is the new design for our More Than Pink Walk commemorative shirt. So individuals who raise $100 or more by September 12th are going to get this shirt in the mail. Those that don't receive their shirt can, like I said, pick it up at the t-shirt tent on event day. Survivors and those living with metastatic breast cancer will receive an event day shirt regardless of funds raised. So if you didn't register in time for the September 12th mailing, proceed to Hope Village, the survivor and metastatic thriver tent, and pick up your shirt there. And don't stop fundraising. If you hit the $100, there's lots more prizes to be won. So if you raise $250, you have the opportunity to get the socks, and you get to pick one prize depending on how much you raise. So for instance, if you raise the knit jacket, you get to pick out of any of the prizes from the socks up. So pick what prize you want, strive to fundraise for that prize, and the fundraising deadline isn't until October 31st, so you'll have the whole entire month to fundraise for your prize. Does anyone have any questions before I move on? I'll be talking about the fundraising center next, and then exploring the tents and some sponsor activities and what's inside them, all the good stuff. But I've been talking for a while, and I want to make sure to answer any questions if there are any. Awesome. Okay, so before we move more into what the tents are going to look like on event day, I just wanted to highlight some of the fundraising center upgrades, since we have a week and a half left and lots of people want to support you to get to your goal. Most wait until close to the event day to do that. So we want you to keep fundraising, keep asking, keep following up with people. And I just wanted to draw attention towards the personalizing your page section on the right. So people like to see your photo, your story. That's an easy thing to update through your fundraising center. And up on the top right, there's also the ability to copy your personal page URL. So it's really visible for you to find. That's the link that you want to put in your emails, your text, your social media. Make sure you're sharing that URL everywhere so that people will donate to your page. There's a checklist as you scroll down the homepage. If you forget what the steps are or want to know how to successfully go through the fundraising process, definitely, if you haven't done so yet, download the fundraising toolkit. That's on the far right tab in your fundraising center. You could also download the More Than Pink Walk app. This app is really great because you'll have your fundraising center at your fingertips. You'll be able to deposit checks just like you would with your mobile bank deposit and send text messages. So I like to text my friends and family as it gets closer to the event if they haven't donated yet, and I know that they probably would through the app to say, hey, the walk's coming up. I'm almost to my goal. Will you help me get there? These are just an example of what a team page and your personal page looks like. So we love, again, for you to put your photo up, share your story like Joan did, how she's proudly celebrating 37 years, and set a goal so that people can watch that fundraising thermometer grow. And then here are some tips to continue your fundraising journey across that finish line, getting to your goal. So you want to definitely donate to your own page. So if you haven't donated to your own page, that should be your first step. People like to see that you're as committed to the cause as you're asking them to be. So that's number one. Power of 10, ask 10 friends to donate $10 and you'll earn your walk shirt. Connect to Facebook is an important one. You want to go do this through your fundraising center. There's a button on there. Don't start a separate one through Facebook, but you want to connect to Facebook because we actually see that those that connect to Facebook raise up to 10 times more than those who don't connect to Facebook. So if you're active on there, definitely do that. And send emails. If you're with a company, make sure that you double your impact and look into your company's matching gift program. This is something that I haven't shared on the webinars yet, but I've been having a lot of success, and you might not know that they're there because they are kind of buried on the website, but on the Komen.org/New Jersey website, if you go all the way to the right, there's a little fundraising tab, and then you go to fundraising for walk. There's all these tools in there for you, toolkits, goal calculator, team captain stuff, information about the app. But what I'm highlighting right here is really the social media toolkit. So what I did yesterday was I downloaded these photos every $30, every $200. I posted on Instagram saying, using, for example, I went with the highest one. Every $200 I raised could provide a screening mammogram for a low income person in need. And I actually did get a $200 donation right away. If you are familiar with Instagram stories, Facebook stories, I actually downloaded the 30, the 50, the 100, the 200, the goal, the help me reach my goal. And I put a whole story together. Can you help me provide childcare? Here's the link. So you can attach the link in there. So if you are really familiar with social media, Instagram, Facebook, fundraising, this is a really great social media toolkit right on the website that you can download from.
Downloading the app is quick and easy and will allow you to manage your fundraising on the go.
Thank you for that plug. We appreciate that. Awesome. So download that app, register, and then join us on Walk Day. So here, breaking news, this is our newly released map. It's not even on the website yet. So you get a sneak peek of this and it'll be on probably sometime later today. But this is what the event site is going to look like. You're going to come in. This parking lot is really big. It's free parking at Hurricane Harbor. The bathrooms are going to be over on the right. If you're volunteering, you want to head over to number 3 and check in for the volunteer tent because our volunteers will be one of the first to arrive around 6 a.m. Like I said, if you needed to get your t-shirt, you're going to head to 1 and 2, the t-shirt tent, the wrap distribution tent. If you're a survivor, metastatic thriver, you're going to head over to number 4, Hope Village. And don't worry, you can take pictures of this if you want, but we're going to release it in emails. It's going to be on the website, so you'll be able to download it, and we'll also have it at the t-shirt and registration tent if you wanted to grab a printout while you're there. Besides that, we'll talk through what the other tents are, but we got a whole amazing sponsor tent area. Number 14 is right when you walk in and park. Maybe you want to hit the Wawa truck and get some coffee. you're going to make your way through the site and explore all the sponsors, and then maybe hit Frito-Lay up here. They're going to have a truck too. Our friends at ShopRite are providing refreshments as well. So there's going to be lots of great stuff all around. And we'll talk more about that now. So volunteering, I did want to ask about volunteering. Feel free to email me, but if you know any high school students, teachers, college students, any groups, charity organizations, religious groups that look for volunteering opportunities. We have 2 days of volunteering, our setup day volunteers that arrive around 10:30 or so on October 1st and help us just hang the banners, put stuff in the tents, and just get everything prepped for walk day. And then our event day volunteers that help us do various jobs throughout the walk, like being course monitors, cheering on people, standing in the tents and talking about whatever the activity is. And if you volunteer, you get a really cool blue t-shirt. So that's different. You can sign up right on this link to volunteer. We've been sending communications about that, but if you did know anyone or you wanted anyone to get in touch with me, please email me. We have the t-shirt tent, so go pick up your t-shirts, your wraps. You can submit last minute donations here. Unless you've done that through your fundraising page or your mobile app. Hope Village tent. So Hope Village is a special place where we will have survivors, metastatic divers, and a guest come together. There'll be some swag in there, some raffle prizes. These ladies are wearing beads, you can see. So we'll have nurses in there, and every year survivorship, they lay an extra strand of beads on the person. I know lots of ladies come back year after year because they really look forward to getting that next strand of beads. So please visit this Hope Village tent. If you are a survivor, metastatic diver, we're going to ask everyone to line up at 8:15 because we will have the Pathway of Hope procession as part of the program this year. So during the program, survivors and thrivers will be invited to walk down the Pathway of Hope, and they'll end up in a sea of pink and berry and light gray right at the end of the stage. So line up for that is at 8:15 a.m. at Hope Village. VIP tent. So our top fundraisers are invited to the VIP tent, where any individual that raises $1,000 or teams that raise $2,500 or more will have access to the VIP tent. Oops, sorry, I went too far. We'll have lots of great stuff there. So essentially what the VIP tent is, if you're a team, you'll have a dedicated table. It's almost like a tailgate where you can bring your team, you can meet with your team, bring your own breakfast if you want, bring your pink props, really get excited all together, celebrate your accomplishment of raising so much for Komen. There'll be a game of cornhole there. There'll be a selfie frame there to take pictures with #MoreThanPinkWalk, refreshments. So just a really nice time to celebrate everyone's success. And I wanted to shout out the leaderboard as it was this morning, doing such an incredible job. Our new team, Lord Abbott, is leading the way this year, and then Johnson & Johnson, BD, Walgreens, Wawa. We even got some staff members on the board from Team Komen, Elementus, Pure Power, almost there. If anyone from Pure Power Engineering is on the line, you're so close to being in the VIP tent, so keep going. And then, of course, we have some amazing community teams as well. Hope Has No Boundaries, Lowest Best Friends, Team Tina is part of BD. I know Suzanne Fonseca is doing lots as well up in North Jersey, and the Wrecking Crew, as I mentioned before. So you're all doing a great job. Keep going. You're all VIPs, and Pure Power Engineering, I know you'll get there. You're so close. This is an example. It's going to look different this year because we're going to have a very large VIP tent with walls and such. But last year was an open air VIP experience. So this is just a visual of Beth and her team, the Wrecking Crew. They brought Duncan, they brought pink cups, they brought pink necklaces, props. They really got it going before the walk. So feel free to give it all you've got. This is your moment to shine and kick off Breast Cancer Awareness Month in a meaningful way because you're making a difference. Pillar tents. Okay, so the pillar tents are Komen's mission tents. They're interactive, so you go in and do a certain activity. And we'd love for you to explore those. We'll have some wraps there as well for the research, care, community, and action. The We Remember tent. It's a quieter area. It's a moment of solitude where we invite you to bring a photo, write a note in memory of a loved one lost to breast cancer. It's a very powerful part of the event. So it'll be on the far corner of the event space so that you could go and take a moment and reflect. I wanted to, of course, thank the dedicated sponsors of the Komen, New Jersey More Than Pink Walk. We have lots of sponsors this year. Lots of them are going to have tents, so I definitely encourage you to explore them. I already mentioned Wawa, ShopRite, Hackensack Meridian Health will be in the Hope Village tent. We have our research pillar sponsor, RWJ Barnabas, our care pillar sponsor, Abby Thinks Pink. They're all going to be there. Bloomberg's on the line. I saw that. Just lots of great stuff. Make sure you go to their booths because they're doing giveaways. They're providing educational content. And Natera actually has given us a little message that they wanted to share with you about some important work that they're doing and invite you to as well go to their tent on event day. So I'm going to play their video from Natera before I wrap up the rest of this presentation.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. I would like to start by thanking Susan G. Komen for this wonderful platform to speak to you about our MRD test, Signatera. Before we get started, just a quick introduction. My name is Dr. Shilpa Tikula, and I am a medical science liaison with Natera, and my area of focus is breast oncology. I am an MD by training, and I completed my education in India, and then later finished my clinical training in Chicago, after which I went on to the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor to complete a postdoctoral fellowship at the Department of Pathology with a focus on triple-negative breast cancer. And I am very happy to be a part of the Natera team because I'm very passionate about women's health. And I'm really, really trying to help the efforts in the breast space, especially to spread awareness, education, and making sure that everyone has the access to the right resources. So, as a quick introduction, Natera is a global leader in cell-free DNA testing with over 10 years of experience in genetic testing. Natera began in the women's health space in cell-free DNA testing for fetal chromosomal abnormalities. And our expertise in cell-free DNA led to ctDNA exploration and the development of Signatera. We have been dedicated to oncology, women's health, and even organ health, because at the end of the day, we know that DNA is in our blood. And our aim is to make personalized genetic testing and diagnostics part of the standard of care to protect health and enable earlier and more targeted interventions that lead to longer and healthier lives. So before we even dive into Signatera, we need to know what is MRD, or molecular residual disease. Well, that's basically the presence of very small traces of cancer in the blood. For example, like circulating tumor DNA or ctDNA. Now you might ask, what is that? Well, ctDNA are small pieces of DNA that originate from cancerous cells in tumors. And as a tumor grows, cells die and get broken down, releasing their cellular contents, including the DNA, into the bloodstream. Now, the amount of ctDNA that is detectable in the blood varies among individuals and will depend on the type of tumor, its location, and the stage of the tumor it comes from. ctDNA is a highly specific and dynamic blood-based cancer biomarker. And the dynamics of ctDNA can be used to assess burden in real time because of its short half-life, which is about 2 hours. And ctDNA testing, also known as liquid biopsy, can be helpful in detecting and diagnosing a tumor, guiding more tailored tumor-specific treatment, monitoring the effectiveness of a given treatment, and even monitoring for cancer recurrence. Now, you might be wondering, why are these tests important? Well, for starters, Signatera is a non-invasive tool for close disease monitoring. It can identify cancer cells that are still remaining in your body even after treatment. And it can even detect cancer recurrence a lot earlier than, for example, a scan can. This, again, plays into improving your confidence in those scans. And it can also tell you whether your treatment is working or not. So, how is Signatera different? Well, to understand that, you need to understand that detecting ctDNA for surveillance is like looking for a needle in the haystack, because an average ctDNA fragment is really small. So, ctDNA detection actually requires an ultra-sensitive test to detect these very small DNA fragments and avoid false positives. Now, one aspect that's unique to Signatera is the analysis of both blood and tumor tissue in the first step of the process, which makes it a lot more sensitive than other tests. So here's how it works. Now, DNA fragments and mutations exist in both cancer cells and normal cells. Mutations that exist in normal cells could, for example, be germline or hereditary, which is basically that they're inherited from a parent and are present throughout a person's life in virtually every cell in the body. Now, DNA fragments and mutations that show up in both cancer cells and normal cells are so-called background noise, and these are removed during that one-time analysis of blood and tissue. Now, identifying specific target cancer cell mutations through this process actually minimizes the false positive results and helps avoid unnecessary stress and treatment. Now, other ctDNA tests are not as accurate in terms of what Signatera is actually looking for. And we've been validated across multiple tumor types and have a rather large bank of data to actually support it. So you might be wondering, who can use these tests? Well, here's a slide that represents a potential cancer journey. And I want to talk to you about how our tests could fit into that journey. Now, starting on the bottom left with detection and diagnosis. This is what marks the start of your journey, wherein the conversation about preventative screening comes in, along with the difficult talk once a diagnosis has been confirmed. But things like CT scans, MRI scans, biopsies, or even fixed gene panels are some of the ways it can be done. And this is what helps your provider understand how to plan out your treatment. Then moving on in your journey, we come to the point of initial intervention. Now, depending on your cancer type and stage, some will receive what we call neoadjuvant chemotherapy, which helps to shrink the tumor and make it more operable, whereas some might even go straight to surgery. But whatever the initial intervention is, Signatera plays a role in terms of detecting whether or not there is any disease left in the body at a molecular level, which is something a scan will not be able to detect. Now, we fall upon the next step in the journey. For some, it might be post-surgical treatment in the form of adjuvant chemotherapy or endocrine therapy. And for some, might be straight to surveillance. But at this point, Signatera can help monitor whether the treatment you are getting is actually working or not. So in other words, is the cancer responding to the treatment? Now, what is so wonderful about the treatment monitoring role of Signatera is that it can be used in the previously mentioned neoadjuvant chemotherapy part of the journey, adjuvant, which is what we just spoke about, and also in the metastatic, which is what happens in the event of recurrence. Lastly, we have surveillance. Now, after the initial intervention of surgery, neoadjuvant chemotherapy, or even after the post-surgical adjuvant chemotherapy, you might be deemed okay to move on to clinical surveillance, which is where you are cancer-free and are asked to come back to see your provider if you start experiencing any symptoms. Now, scanning may be done once a year, depending on your cancer type or at the discretion of the provider. This is where we come in, as a complement to the scans and blood tests that your provider.
Then it'll match the ideas like we're right next to each other.
Would normally order. And it actually helps to bridge the gap in terms of looking for the cancer at a molecular level, where it can pick up the recurrence even before a scan can. Now, Signatera proves to be a very useful tool, especially when you're in this setting, to really pick up that recurrence early enough and help your provider make an informed decision about the next steps, and even consider a more aggressive monitoring regimen. Because at the end of the day, it all comes down to being able to catch the recurrence before it spreads and before a point of visceral crisis. Now, in addition to Signatera, for those who may have family history and a higher risk of developing breast cancer, there is a hereditary cancer test called Empower that we offer that may help determine that cancer risk. And you can actually learn more about that when you stop by our booth at Six Flags. So, why is supporting Susan G. Komen so important to Natera? Well, we are so grateful and thankful for what Susan G. Komen is doing for breast cancer patients every day. And we are honored to be partnering with them to be able to advance a paradigm shift to improve those outcomes for those in the breast cancer community. So it would be amazing to meet all of you, and you can come by our booth at Six Flags. We're super excited for this event. We will have Natera representatives available to answer your questions regarding Signatera, which is our MRD test, and even Empower, the hereditary cancer test that we just spoke about. So, have you actually truly explored every avenue in your fight against cancer? Well, you can visit our website to learn more about Signatera and even talk to your doctor to discuss if Signatera is the right fit for you. Here are a few resources that you could possibly visit, and also an email that you can email us at with any of those questions. And we have a wonderful team that will help get you those answers. Thank you so much.
Great. So I hope you take the time when you get to the walk to learn more, not just about Natera, but all of our other sponsors. They have plenty of resources for you. And we have actually some free virtual upcoming education events as well. But please utilize the time at the walk to have fun, but also get all the resources that might help you in exploring better avenues for taking care of yourself and going through your cancer journey. Lastly, I hope that you will join our Facebook group. We will post, we post these webinars in there. We post our breast cancer education events in there. All of our upcoming events and details we post in there. So please join our Facebook group to stay in touch with us. And like I said, we have some upcoming events. They're free, they're virtual, so you could take them from the comfort of your home. September 25th, presented by Memorial Sloan Kettering. October 12th, presented by Hackensack. And October 26th, presented by RWJ Barnabas, all on different topics. If you are interested in an evening with our Komen Scholar, the first one's for you. Metastatic breast cancer, we're going to talk about the care team and managing emerging treatment options on October 12th. And then what is a clinical trial and am I a candidate? Later in the month on October 26th. Both of these registrations will be on event site for Hackensack and RWJ at the tents. So make sure you stop by there, sign up for the event, and discover whatever materials are there for you. And again, register, don't stop fundraising. We need every single dollar to help every single person we possibly can. So thank you so much. And that concludes the event day details webinar. Please reach out to me with any questions. We do have 15 minutes left if you have any questions that we didn't talk about, and I invite you to connect with me on LinkedIn as well. So at that, I'm gonna stop sharing and open it up to questions.
Hi, Chelsea, may I ask a